Is it working? Hi, everyone. This is my family. Some of them are here today, so you can see if you can recognize us. I'm sitting on my mom's lap, and that's my dad holding me in the photo on the left. I am so honored to be here today, speaking with you, giving the Father's Day address. When Sensei asked me to give today's speech, I said, of course, no problem, and then I sat down to do it, and I was like, wow, this is really hard. What do I say to you about my relationship with my father and about what I observe about father figures in this world, and what do I share with you today as it relates to that? I started by texting a friend of mine, Derek, who I admire very much and who is a dad. And I hope it's okay to say that I also asked Claude, AI, but I didn't ask him to help me write this speech. I just wanted to do some research and thought it would be a good place to start because, we're in the age of AI after all. After I got Claude to understand that I am not a father or a father figure, but a person curious about fatherhood and the Jodo Shinshu teachings related to fatherhood, it helped me find some lessons from Higashi's ministers that could inspire me for today's talk. I read a Dharma message from 2019 by Reverend Noriaki Fujimori that quoted an important Jodo Shinshu text, the Tani Sho. And he shared, quote, "All beings have been fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters in the timeless process of birth and death." Reverend Fujimori went on to say that Buddhism teaches, by interacting with others, we can gain precious awareness and enlightenment. True enlightenment cannot be attained alone. We need to connect and interact with others. Okay, so thank you for helping me find this, Claude, and let's get out of the AI world and into reality. This is my friend Derek and his youngest daughter, Bellamy, when she was born. When I asked Derek, who is a real dad and a musician, what it means to be a dad, he shared, quote, "Sometimes everything means everything, and sometimes your influence on your kids is positive and helpful, and other times it seems to only go wrong. It's like you've played a few chords on the guitar before, and someone pushed you onto the stage, and now you're playing guitar with some very important people, these kids. And you have no clue what song they're playing, but you're faking it until you hear the song. And by the time you realize what song it is, that's what phase of life they're in, what to do for them and with them, it's almost over. And the band, the kids, they're already playing a different song and in a different phase of life. It's like, come on, Dad, keep up." When I think back about my relationship with my dad, I can remember feeling like he knew everything and nothing all at once. And in a way, it's kind of true, because while he was raising me, I was busy becoming my own person and expecting him to relate to that in real time. What a tall order. I like the idea that Reverend Fujimori shared from the Tani Sho, that we've all been fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters in the timeless process of birth and death. It's also what Derek is saying to me about his relationship with his kids and what I've come to realize about my relationship with my dad. We're learning from each other. As my conversation with Derek continued, he did the dad thing to me too. He related his experience to my life and to something that I love so I can understand what he's saying more clearly. This is Derek with his family more recently. So here's what he shared. "Heather, I know you like plants. So imagine that your plants had a little mind of their own. You plant them and then they decide to hop out of the pot and just stay in the sun all day, even if they're supposed to stay in the shade. How would you coax them back into the pot and into the shade because that's what's best for them? Because once they're at a certain age, you can't just pick them up and put them in the pot. You have to speak with them and reason. And then you get to worry about whether or not what you're saying and how you're saying it is going to help them in the long run. Are they going to be kind to others? When and how do you make the big, important points in life to them? because ultimately being a dad for me means giving them more opportunities, more fun, more memories, and yet not withholding the pains that come in life, because there are some things they have to learn on their own too. How do I give them a better life than I had? Because that's all I can compare it to in the end. It really moved me that he went that extra step, and it totally landed, because whether you're caring for a child of your own or acting as a parental figure, the lesson is the same. How am I impacting this other life? Are they hearing what I'm trying to say in the way I mean it to be heard? And how can I do that better? Those are some of life's big questions, and then there are the little things that also have a massive impact. My father passed away in 2017, but I still talk with him all the time, and I think about him all the time because of the little things. Because my dad taught me to play backgammon, I can play and even teach others. Because my dad loved food, we drove down to Long Beach for the Crawfish Festival one year just to have a meal. They started playing Snoop Dogg, and there was a dance floor, and everyone got up and started line dancing. My dad did not like hip-hop at all, but I really wanted to join them, so I got up and I joined in, and he just sat back and smiled and watched me. And because my dad had an adventurous and mischievous streak, he signed a waiver for me to go to Italy on spring break in high school with my friends. It was my first big international trip without my parents, and I thought it was so cool. I witnessed him working hard and enjoying life when he wasn't at the office, and I see myself trying to do the same now. As I was preparing for today, I was also thinking about the little things from father figures who have been there for me since my dad passed. When I first moved back to LA in early 2020, I moved in with my Auntie Yoshi and Uncle Rudy. And I was so grateful to not be living alone during COVID, at the early days of COVID. And I was still getting my business off the ground at that time. My Uncle Rudy made dinner for us almost every night, and there was a real learning curve because I'm vegetarian and they're not. So we got creative, we made some new recipes, had a lot of fun and delicious meals. I also thought about how good it made me feel to get a call from my friend Jessica's dad when I turned 40. He hadn't seen me in over 10 years, but he called just to say hello and to send me blessings. It's the big things and the little things that together mean so much, and I revisited Claude one more time as I was preparing for this talk to help me find another meaningful text that I wanted to share with you. In this Dharma message from Reverend Ken Yamada in March of 2020, he shared, quote, "To really understand life, we must understand there are two truths. There's the conventional truth of our everyday life. We can say, quote, today the sun is shining, and that is true today, but it may not be true tomorrow. It is a temporary truth. If something is really true, it must always be true. It must be true yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It must be true 1,000,000 years ago and 1,000,000 years from now. It must be true on Earth and on Mars. According to Buddhism, this kind of truth is, quote, the ultimate truth or the ultimate reality. And knowing the ultimate truth is to truly understand that everything is impermanent. He said, quote, if we know that in the world of ultimate truth we are always connected to one another, then a person who has passed away is not far away. My father will always be my father. My brother will always be my brother. And I will always be connected to them, although they passed away several years ago and I can no longer see them. In this way, their lives and mine become one, and the past and present become one. He said, quote, when we start to see the world of ultimate truth, our world becomes boundless, and we can appreciate this life ever more deeply. I know this room is full of people who are fathers and who have lost their fathers or who are father figures. And as I reflect on what Derek shared and my own experiences, I see the interconnectedness that Reverend Fujimori and Reverend Yamada are both talking about even more clearly. Our relationship with our fathers is impermanent and everlasting. Thank you for having me here today and sharing this moment with me, and happy Father's Day to all of the fathers and the father figures.